Welcome everyone to the Sampath Bank podcast series. Our topic is climate-linked governance, climate reporting, strategy and execution. I'm here today with the Company Secretary, Dr. Lasantha Senaratne. Lasantha, why do you see SLFRS S1 and S2 as effective non-financial reporting for Sri Lankan corporates?
Yes, now when you look at the financial and non-financial reporting requirements, financial talks about the historical aspect of maybe the profits, assets and the liabilities. Non-financial focus on more on the sustainability and environmental, social and governance. So if you have a strong non-financial measurements or the guidance, I think the organization can achieve financial in a better way. We have to benchmark, or now it's it's a mandatory requirement. This S1 and S2 comes from the SLFRS standards. Now it's a mandatory requirement. So therefore it's important to ensure that the top or the board of directors involved in that particular process and bring the tone from that top to make sure that we are in line with the requirements. That's why the top involvement is important. If the top involvement is properly there, obviously the management will follow them and make sure that they are working towards the common goal of achieving the non-financial targets. At the same time, especially the listed entities, they need capital. So if they are looking for international global capital requirements, obviously these non-financial measurements are important. Not only that, if they are starting relationship, cross-border type of relationships, obviously the non-financial reportings are important. Especially when we want to borrow from a financial foreign party. Rather than meeting the mandatory requirements, what they see, whether we were able to maintain non-financial as well as best practices. So that clearly shows the best practices are important, plus the non-financial measurements are also important in today's context. Under the guidance of the board of directors, I think that is why the S1, S2 are trying to do, to bring everyone into one platform and ensure that we are complying with all required standards.
That's something we're talking about: climate-linked governance, climate reporting, strategy and execution. Now you mentioned a thing called review at board level. What's the importance of the oversight of the highest governance body of climate-related matters?
Yeah, I would like to start with some historical aspect of governance. Governance goes back to more than 2,500 years, which Greek history says it was there. And even Shakespeare knew about the governance. Shakespeare, in his Merchant of Venice, he has highlighted the importance of governance. So that clearly shows this is nothing new. It's a historical topic. And today we are very serious on that, right? More voluntary things now has become mandatory, which we have to comply. And when you come to our organization perspective, as I told, it's driven by the board. With the board visionary thinking, it's handled by a separate board sustainability committee. When it comes to us, the bank, what we thought was, rather than giving this responsibility, existing committee, we thought we should have a special committee focused on that particular aspect. That's where we were able to bring a strong governance, non-financial reporting platform. With the assistance of that particular committee, we were able to drive all our expectations up to the expected levels of the regulator. That is something unique. Below that particular committee, we have the management committee, we have the sustainable team, and they have the supportive teams around that. So everyone is in the same platform to ensure that this governance drive the entire non-financial aspects. Because if you take ESG, G is governance. So there's a huge role with regard to the governance in this entire exercise. Governance is all about human behavior, right? Governance is all about how you do things. So this sustainability aspect is always the climate aspect we are talking about. What should we do? The human behavior. That's the most important thing. And top of that, when the highest governing authority, the board, when they are leading, as I told you, it's important for the management to drive, then it's very easy. There's a clear ownership. We can understand the expectations of that and expectations of the board of directors, what they really want to do, what they really expect. And converting the mandatory requirement into practice is the most important thing. So we are very serious on this exercise, not just to as a compliance measurement, to go in deep and to do justice to the entire environment and to safeguard the people around us, not only the people, everything around us. So that is one of the key factors for the long-term sustainability of the organization. I'm 100% sure we are in the right path. We are driving the right path under our board visionary leadership. We have a very strong board. We have a very strong set of directors in the subcommittees, board's sustainability committee and the management. They are veteran in those fields. So that will help us to drive all expectations from the governance aspect to drive and meet the challenges of the future as well.
Lasantha, as we talk on climate-linked governance, climate reporting, strategy and execution, tell me, how is the Sampath Bank strengthening board-level governance to embed climate and sustainability considerations into strategic decision-making and risk oversight?
Yeah. At Sampath, we have considered this as an opportunity for us to focus on climate-related measures from a governance perspective. In that particular exercise, in addition to the board guidance, we have the Sustainable Committee, we have the Strategic Planning Committee, we have the Board Risk Committee to ensure that we are in line with the requirements. So the Board Sustainability Committee, through their TOR, we have a very strong TOR defining the board responsibilities with regard to sustainability, drive and take decisions what to do and what not to do. All those decisions are vetted by the Board Risk Committee to see what is the risk aspect. Are we mitigating the risk and driving this? That's one of the important things. And finally, the Strategic Planning Committee, they put all this outcome to the organization strategy. Because if these things are not in the strategy, it will not work. That's the most important thing. So we have a responsible 3 subcommittees under the guidance of the board who are driving this entire focus, entire plan until we achieve the bottom line results or outcome what is expected from the authorities and the stakeholders. And in addition to that, strong policies, as I told you, we have a strong set of policies under the TOR. These policies, normally we take very frequent visits and see what is required. As I told you, this is a new exercise. So we have to ensure that we are in the right path. Continuous changes will happen depending on the requirement, depending on the external factors as well, because we don't keep that for annual review. We subsequently, as and when required, we review and ensure that we are in line with the expected standard. So whatever the decision that we take at the Board Sustainable Committee will be shared with the Risk Committee, and then we will, if required to embed it into the strategy, we will coordinate with the strategy team as well. But all these finally get reported to the board. Board should know what's really happening, because board is very keen in this exercise. It's under their guidance and under their supervision we are doing it, because it's a board responsibility.
Our framework is climate-linked governance, climate reporting, strategy and execution. Tell me, in implementing SLFRS S1 and S2, what steps are being taken to ensure consistency and reliability in sustainability disclosures across the bank's reporting system?
Yeah. So as I told you, it's under the visionary thinking of the board, we have a very strong sustainable board subcommittee. Under their guidance, entire team works on one platform. We have to ensure that we are all in one platform, driving towards our objective. If different papers start doing different things, then we will not be able to move towards that. That was the first objective. Put everyone, every department, every single employee into the right track. That was done initially. It took a lot of time, it took a lot of efforts. I want to thank the Sustainability Committee and the staff putting that in the right direction. So because of that, we were able to drive all our achievements. That's one of the key factors. So to be in line with that, we had to do a skill gap as well, to identify what are the skills required for our board of directors and to the management and to the staff. So in that particular exercise, we conducted a series of sessions to keep the level of expectations of the directors' knowledge to a high standard and conducted certain training programs for them. In addition to that, the management and the staff, we kept on training them to make sure that they know what they're doing. In most of the time, what really happens in organizations, they see the end, they see the beginning, but middle is empty. So that was not our aim. We know as I told you, it's very serious. We are into this. This is business, right? This is climate. If we don't safeguard our climate, there is no future. That's where we thought, okay, we will go step by step, not fast forwarding. We wanted to go step by step and achieve what we want. If you go through our annual report, you can see what we have done. Right? I'm proud to say we have done almost everything what is required, and more than that as well. So all this success depends on what we have done so far. So for that, it's a teamwork. It's not one person's role. We look this as an opportunity, not as a burden to fulfill the regulatory requirements. It's not a burden. I always say that regulatory requirements should not be considered as a burden. It's why the regulator is coming out with this kind of requirement, because it's required. So we have to take it very positively and see how we can achieve above the expectations of the regulator. Then only everyone will be happy. Then only we can say we are a compliant organization. We are a regulatory we have fulfilled everything what is expected from the regulator. Top of that, to meet the expectations of the stakeholders. Most of our stakeholders are around us because they know we are an ethical organization. We do what is required, but we don't do what is not required. In simple, we do the right thing and we don't do the wrong thing. That's the success of our organization. Within a short period of 40 years, we have gone to the top between the regulator, the board, management, and all other stakeholders, including the shareholders. If a shareholder has a question, company secretary is the one who has to give answers. So this clearly shows the importance of a company secretary, and not as just a position, it's almost a highest position. Now just merely taking minutes, it's not the company secretary's role today. The company secretary advise the board and ensure that the board is doing the right thing, and by giving proper guidance. That's one of the key important tasks. And also meeting the expectations of the regulator. When a new regulations comes for the governance or which are affecting the board, company secretary is the one who have to interpret and make sure that they prepare the proper process to the organization and drive in line with the expectations of the regulator. And at the same time, if there's a decision taken at the board level, passing that to the management and ensure that the management is doing that is one of the role. And in addition to that, any stakeholders on questions, the company secretary is the key person who we have to handle it. In my case, I'm happy to say that in addition to the company secretary, I'm also in the Sustainable Management Committee. So I know what is expected from the board and what is expected from the regulator and what is expected from the Sustainability Committee. So combining these two or passing this information across the organization is very easy for me, because I know whatever the decision that is taken under this ESG concepts and the sustainability, that goes through me. So then it will be very helpful for me to understand. In addition to that, Sampath Bank, we have a strong governance framework, which is mainly focused on the board of directors' responsibility towards the regulators' expectations. And we focus on performance and conformance. We spend more time on performance, which includes strategic planning and policy making. So this climate-related, ESG-related strategies are has given an important prominence in our governance framework. So that's very easy for us to monitor and ensure that whether all departments are in line with the strategy. So it's a very strong framework that we have, which is more focused, and we know what we are doing, and that helps the board of directors also to ensure that to achieve our vision in the long run.
Lasantha, we're talking about the topic of climate-linked governance, climate reporting, sustainability and execution. But tell us, how does the company secretariat help different teams like business, seems like sustainability, seems like risk, work together to ensure strong, let's say, governance and clear reporting on climate-related issues?
Yeah. Now, as I told you, the board is the key authority who have to take the responsibility in this entire exercise. To support the board, we have a more focused board sustainability committee. They take the all required decision making for the sustainability aspect, ESG aspects. So that the guidance for that particular committee comes from a very strong TOR and set of policies. So whatever the decisions that we take initially, we will take at board governance level. And before coming to that, all those decisions are approved by the Sustainable Management Committee. They ensure that before it goes to the board, these decisions are correct, which will bring more viable opportunities for us. Then it goes to the Sustainable Committee, Board Sustainable Committee, with their feedback, with their inputs. We will fine tune it and we'll approve. And then thereafter, to look at the risk aspect of those decisions, it will be referred to the board risk subcommittee. Risk, they go through a thorough study on that. And then finally, if it will go to the board strategic planning committee to inbuilt in now to our strategy. So no decision will be effective if we don't inbuilt into the strategy. So as I told you, we have a strong governance framework. So all these decisions are routed to the Sustainable Management Committee. Then it goes to the Board Sustainability Committee. Then it goes to the Board Risk Committee. And finally, it will go to the Board Strategic Planning Committee and then to the board to see the viability of these decisions. It's a process, it's an ongoing process. It's not just one transaction. It's a continuous thing. Since we have considered these at the top level, performance level, as strategy planning and policy making are our key performance functions, it's very easy to us to drive and ensure what we achieve all those expectations up to the maximum level. While achieving this up to the expected level, we get the right feedback, we get the right outcome, which is important for our stakeholders. Because we show that the stakeholders, we can talk to our stakeholders to see this is what we have done in a strategic way. So all these sustainable related, ESG related expectations are included into our strategic plan, and then we drive, the management will drive, and they show the performance. So this is the normal process of converting expectations or the requirements ending up at board level, and then it moves to the policy making and finally we achieve the expected standards.
We've been talking about climate-linked governance, climate reporting, strategy and execution with Lasantha. Thank you very much. It has been very interesting talking to you. Thank you.
Thank you so much for the opportunity, and I hope that this will take it to the next level, which our organization can drive to the maximum and show we are very serious on that particular expectation.
I'm most certainly sure it will. Thank you again.